Hi, welcome to the lecture series on computer networks. We move on with module 2. Under this video, we are going to discuss about the concepts behind network edges. So, three session it's been divided. In session 1, we are going to discuss about network edge basis. Then in session 2, we are going to discuss about access network. And in session 3, about the physical medium that are used in the construction of the access network. So let us start with network edge basis. We have already seen this kind of network previous video. So internet can be possible to be had in home network, it can be in mobile network, it can be in enterprises network. So now all these devices which we are connecting to the internet are called as end systems. It is also called as host or nodes. Different nomenclatures are followed. So these end systems are normally computers, laptops, smartphones, and other smart appliances that has the possibility of IP enablement. So ultimately, they should have the enablement of computing features. So these host or end system, they are basically connected to the internet and they run the various application programs such as web browser program, web server program, email, client program, etc. We discuss about two models here. One is called client server model. Another one is called peer-to-peer model. In client server model, end system, what we refer like desktop, mobile PCs, smartphones, etc., will become client. And the servers are basically more powerful machines that has the capability to provide large storage and distribute the web pages that are stored within them. They also used in streaming videos, relay emails, etc. Since the data handling capacity of the servers are large and due to the advancement of IPv6 and the traffic today in scenarios, the information handling capability of servers are increasing day by day. So in such cases, due to the large volume of data we need to store in the servers, we have something called as data centers. So they become data centers. For example, Google has 30 to 50 data centers for storing enormous amount of data. So these data centers will have thousands of servers that are connected to them. And the second model what we have is peer-to-peer model. So this peer-to-peer model is mainly introduced to reduce the or minimize the usage of dedicated servers. So example what we have is Skype's, BitTorrent, etc. So here it shows you different set of models where these end devices can be connected directly. This is called peer-to-peer communication, whereas you can also access the connection established through the ISPs. So for example, this laptop to this, you can access the content from this server through the usage of ISP. Okay, so two models you have seen. So basically, the end system interaction with the ISP. The same scenario we have taken. So here, these end system that are connected to the ISP, they are actually called as access network or network edges. That is, for example, if you take this mobile network, this base station is acting as an edge node. And to this base station, these nodes are accessing the service provided by this base station. And at the back end, the base station is connected to the ISP. That is a core network. So network can be partitioned into network edge and network core. So network edge can be wired or wireless communication is possible. Say for example, in case of mobile network, we use base station as the edge. In case of home network, we are using some routers as the edge. So in these two scenarios, these mobile devices are communicating to the base station in a wireless mode. Whereas in case of similar to that in your home network also, all the appliances available in the home are communicating to the routers in a wireless way. So you have a fridge, you have a light, you have a laptop, etc. When coming to enterprises, that is in case of an institutional network or corporate network, they have small LANs, and those LANs are in turn connected. So you have both wired as well as wireless setup. And sometimes they also maintain some local servers for the duplicate copy maintenance. You can have some local server. So this segment, which is called as network edges. So in order to make the information communicated in proper way, all this traffic has to go to the network core. So network core is nothing but a backbone network or a backhaul network in which the entire traffic that are provided by these access networks are flown. As discussed in the previous module, we have ISPs, regional ISPs as well as national ISPs or global ISPs, and the ISPs are basically formulated with the help of communication links and routers. So in this video, we are going to discuss about in detail the network edge. So the network edge can be made possible by means of access network. So access network is, as I discussed, this segment is called the access network and this segment is called as the core network. So what is a edge router? So network that physically connect an end system to the first router. So for example, in this mobile network, this is your first router or the edge router on the path from the end system to any of the other end system. So from this end system, you want to have connection to this end system, it has to go through this. So I'm repeating. So network that physically connect an end system to first router, also known as edge router, on a path from the end system to any other distance end system. So this access network can be of three categories: residential access network, institutional access network, and mobile access network. And the type of access network that we can build using various technologies, you can have a dial-up mode, dial-up way of constructing access network. You have DSL, you have cable access network, you have fiber to home network, then you have satellite access network. In the subsequent session, we are going to discuss about these kinds of access network in detail, their architecture, how they work, all that setup. Okay. Now we move on to the residential access network. In case of dial-up access network, so you actually have your existing telephone. This is a very earlier version of your internet. So when internet era started, this was the first category or kind of network they adopted to construct the access network. So dial up via modem. So you have a device called modem. So this modem, actually it is modulation demodulation. Modem stands for modulator demodulator. It does both modulation as well as demodulation mechanism. So this dial up via modem. So you have a telephone network. So using the existing telephone network, we are by introducing a small modem, we are able to bring in internet. So it was able to offer you up to 56 kilobits per second direct access to routers. But 56 kilobits per second, all the values I'm going to mention in this video regarding the data rate, etc., they are the standard values. But in real time, the actual complete value of or complete rate of that is not acceptable. So normally you won't 56 means the in real time deployment you won't realize 56. definitely it will be lesser to that because of various installation problem or deterioration in the cable, etc. Okay, so the maximum it can offer is 56 kilobits per second. That means in 1 second, 56 kilobits of data can be transferred. It's a direct access to router, and the drawback here is since it is the data rate it is offering you is very less, you can't do any surfing or so both surfing as well as making a call cannot be done at the same time. So it is either this way or that way. Okay. So this is the limitation what we had in dial-up mode. Next came DSL. DSL stands for Digital Subscriber Line. So you can see the figure here. You have a normal telephone here. So we have an adapter coming to the telephone and we have a modem. So this modem is connected to your internet through a cable, Ethernet cable. Okay. So you have something called as a splitter. We'll see what is this. So this digital subscriber line is another kind of residential access network, which is basically deployed by the existing telephone companies. Say, for example, you have BSNL telephone connection. The BSNL itself can provide you DSL. If you have Airtel connection, the Airtel can provide you the DSL. So the telephone companies which offer you telephone network, they can provide DSL connection. So it provides access to the internet through telephone lines and modem. Again, we have a modem used here, which is a piece of hardware. So this modem is a piece of hardware that acts as a middleman between the internet connection and the computer, wireless router, smart TV, etc. Okay, so you need to have the hardware exclusive, which is a modem. So that's going to play as a important role in providing you internet. And compared to dial-up, the upstream. So upstream is nothing but when a user is trying to send some data to the internet. That is, for example, you are sending some mail to your friend, then your data is going to the internet. So that is called upstream. Downstream is suppose you are reading a mail that your friend has sent you. That is downstream. So the uplink data or upstream data rate that can be offered by DSL is up to 1 megabits per second. Whereas the downstream it is 8 megabits per second. So these are all standard values. But as I said in the earlier discussion, realizing 1 Mbps or 8 Mbps in real-time traffic in real-time mode will not be possible. There will be some degradation. So this is a dedicated physical line has to be connected to the telephone central office. So in the next session, we will be discussing DSL in detail, discussing their architecture, how their connections are coming from the central telephone central office, etc. So now, as of now, what we should understand is dial-up is one kind of radio access network. So dial-up is basically from the telephone, you're introducing a modem. So using the modem, you're able to get the internet. Whereas in case of a DSL, it is also same, but there is a little bit working architecture, there is a variation. So so here in case of a dial-up, either surfing or making a call, any one only can be done at a time. Whereas in case of DSL, both can be done. Both the services can be used simultaneously. Okay. Next, we move on to cable internet access. So this is what we are actually enjoying in recent years. So this cable internet access is nothing but the cable television operators. Like you have a dish, like I think you have Airtel, Jio, etc. So the cable television company, they use the existing cable television infrastructure to provide you the internet. So a residents obtain the cable internet access from the same company that provides its cable television. Okay. So for example, you see that, so from outside the company, so from the cable company, say you have Airtel or you have what I can say, you have I think Airtel or you have Sky, what is that? Tata Sky, etc. So you have a cable coming in, and this cable is default you're using for the television. So cable TV outlet, which will be connected to your television and you watch your programs. So the same cable you can put a modem, you can put a cable modem, and this can provide you the internet. Okay, so in case of DSL, we use a telephone network, whereas in case of cable internet, we use your cable operator, that same television infrastructure we are using. The fourth category of access network we have is fiber to home. This is very popular in recent years. I think the same cable TV also, for example, you have Airtel is providing all the combination. It provides a DTH, it provides you fiber to home, etc. So here, exclusive cable will come. Say, for example, you have your central office here. So from the central office, you have exclusive, so fiber, maybe in the third session, we are going to discuss about various physical medium that we will be using kind of used in the access network. At that time, we will be telling you the advantage of optical fiber cables. So here in fiber to home, from the central office, individual fibers are coming to your home. So maybe some kind of intermediate devices will be using here, but each residence will be receiving individual fibers. That is the beauty of this fiber to home. So there is again, you have upstream, downstream, asymmetric is there. So as I said, asymmetric is, it is not same. Both upstream and downstream data rate is not same. So in upstream, it is giving you 2 Mbps. That is 2 megabits per second in upstream and 30 Mbps in downstream. So the network of cable and fiber attach home to the ISP. So we are going to use bundles of cables and bundles of fibers that is attached to the ISP in order to obtain the internet services. So the home share access to router. So once you are having an individual fiber connected to your home by introducing a Wi-Fi wireless router, you can share. So within your premises, within your home premises, you are able to. A father is using an internet, son is using an internet, mother is using it. So all the entire members available in the home, they can access the internet via this router that is already commissioned inside the house, to which a direct fiber is connected. So here the deployment is available via cable TV. I think now we have Airtel streaming, we have, so in which the DTH connection, the fiber to home internet connection, it's giving you a combined service. So that is also we are enjoying that kind of services nowadays. And the third category, what we have is mobile access network. So this mobile access network we have in our mobile phone or smartphone, something called as mobile data. So your smartphone is already connected to a service provider, that is cellular service provider. So the cellular service provider is also providing you the ISP. When you turn on your hotspot or when you turn on your mobile data, you are getting connected to the internet service offered by your cellular networks. So we had 3G, then we had 4G. Recently, 5G is also launched in India, right? However, all this third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation, etc., they are being standardized by a group called LTE, which is called long-term evolution. So here, under this kind of mobile access network, the kind of devices you can connect is all kind of smartphones that are either iPhone based or Android based. So they are mainly we enjoy all kind of services. We send messages, we send videos, share photos, online streaming, and you have gaming, etc. So they employ wireless infrastructure, which is cellular. So the backbone network, what they use is your cellular infrastructure is used in this to send and receive the packets to the base station that are operated by the cellular. So I think you have BSNL as a cellular operator, you have Airtel, you have Jio, what else you have? So these are all very pioneer people in your mobile industry, okay, in cellular industry. Then the Wi-Fi, which is actually used for providing you services, coverage up to some the tens to 100 meters. Mobile data, that is your cellular-based mobile data, can offer you coverage with respect to kilometers. So many telecommunication companies which offer you 3G, 4G, and 5G. As the generation increases, the offering data rate is also increasing. The kind of services they are trying to provide us keep on increasing. So all these generations, as I said, they have been standardized by a standard called LTE, long-term evolution, or LTEA, that is long-term evolution advance. Okay, and wireless access network. So as I said, when we discussed about fiber to home, you have a wireless router placed in your home. At the back end of the wireless, you may have a wired network, which is fiber to home, that is a fiber is connected. But in the front end, that is in the wireless, so what does this wireless router provide you? The bandwidth that is available to you is being wirelessly shared using this wireless router. By just putting one wireless router, which is backend connected to base station, so it can provide you various. So you need not the number of devices, the number of end devices that can be connected to share the available bandwidth can be increased based on the kind of package you are in. So 802.11 is an IEEE standard, as we discussed in the earlier module, that takes care of standardizing the wireless local area network technology. So it offers you 11 to 54 megabits per second as the data rate. Okay. So in summary, we could say that in this video, we have discussed about the basics of network edge, what are the various models that can be used in network edge, what's the difference between network edge and network core, and how network edge can be realized, what kind of access networks that can be brought in, and what kind of technologies that can be used in the construction of access networks. The introduction is being given to the introduction of these access network is given in this video. The detail of them will be shared in the subsequent video.